I was 13 when I first found out about Postal 2 5 years ago. I found it accidentally since I actually searched for a Portal 2 Let's Play series, but curiously clicked on a video showcasing Postal 2 instead. Without any means to buy it, since I was too young, and it was and still is banned in Germany, I pirated it and played it for the first time. I was blown away. I never played a game quite like that one. When I saw that the Postal games finally released on Steam, I immediately bought Postal 2 Complete and its predecessor, which turned out to be a good decision, because about 1 or 2 years ago, the games were mysteriously pulled from the German store without notice. Postal always was a controversial game series, the first with its dark and uncomfortable atmosphere and very dry dark humor, and its way more comedic and over-the-top sequel Postal 2 that I will be focusing on in this video. The game is violent, disgusting, offensive and lowbrow. But remember, it's only as violent as you are.
Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
No way, you freaking pinko.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Postal 2 was, from the start, intended to be a funny experience. Absurdity, gross out, immaturity and juxtaposing violence with hilarity. The sound design in Postal serves as a contrast to violence, but in many cases also goes hand in hand with it. For example, the relaxing and soothing music jingles playing in the mall, juxtaposed to the begging and screaming of terrified NPCs running away from the Postal dude, the main protagonist, that clearly is a public threat to everyone involved. Starting with the main menu, it is clear from the start that the influence of the first game is still present. It looks and sounds hostile. The sounds when selecting different options are sharp and uncomfortable, and an ambience is being played in the background. The main menu pretty much reflects the sick and demented side of Postal 2, while in-game, when you check out your map and statistics, you are greeted with happy and relaxing elevator music. Again, hilarity and violence are juxtaposed in every aspect of this game, even in the menus.
There it is.
The world of Postal 2 is rather void of music.
Vince needs to see you, dude.
Thanks.
While it can be a big negative in many games that would benefit from music playing at all times, like many RPGs for instance, in the case for Postal it's a rather great way of constructing a believable world. Remember, you are just some guy that needs to accomplish rather mundane stuff, like getting a paycheck, buying milk, or going to the hospital to get your gonorrhea treated. Ambience and the application of appropriate music in the right places really shows how lame and mundane the protagonist's life really is, and I think it also helps to push the player more and more into violence. You can play this game without harming a single soul, but it's a rather boring and really hard experience. It's hard to pull off, partly due to the rather boring ambient sound design. Metal tracks playing in the background at all times sure would be fitting in a game like Doom, where you are only expected to shoot living things until they crumble and die, but Postal isn't necessarily about that. It's only about a dude completing everyday tasks.
Now get out and come again, please.
Okay.
But since the game we are talking about is known for its graphic violence, we also need to look into what makes up the combat in this game. The game offers hit-scanning weapons, melee weapons and explosives. Even though some sounds are a bit dated, overall the sounds of the hit-scanning weaponry sounds really powerful. Melee weapons can be divided into bladed and blunt weapons. Bladed weapons are especially satisfying when dismembering. The sound of body parts hitting the floor is really chunky and raw, it just sounds right. The sound of liquids is really important in this game as well, due to it having a rather good liquid system. When you decide to, let's say, relieve yourself, you get a really accurate tinkling and also some splashing sound effects. When an NPC vomits, you experience a rather realistic experience of someone vomiting, also including the occasional burping. Blood has appropriate squirting and splashing sounds, and head obliteration is extremely satisfying with the sticky and gory sound effect that is played. What really finalizes the experience of Postal 2 though is without a doubt the voice acting, most notably the performance of the Postal dude. The dude is voiced by Rick Hunter, who described his role as a lot of fun in an interview with Jake the Voice on the Cyberdam. He personally finds the voice of the dude really put on and described it as not being the best performance he was capable of. I also found an Ogg Vorbis file that contains voice lines intended for the dude, spoken by one of the developers of Running with Scissors. I assume this file was used as a demo to show Hunter how he was supposed to voice the lines. The dude speaks in a very cynical way, which goes hand in hand with the overall theme of the game. He also has many one-liners and reactions on offer, and he doesn't shy away from breaking the fourth wall either. I would argue the fourth wall didn't even exist in the first place.
My grandmother could beat the game if she saved as much as you do. Are you saving again? Didn't you just save? Does my voice annoy you? I know what you're thinking, but the funny thing is, I don't even like video games.
The dude has a deep, recognizable, maybe even iconic voice. The voice work that was done for the game was splendid, and playing another Postal game without this voice is hard to imagine. Wait. Oh. Yeah, that actually happened. Postal 3, a game so bad even Running with Scissors are ashamed of it, did not feature Rick Hunter as the dude's voice. But Running with Scissors found a good replacement, Corey Cruz, who, funnily enough, is Rick Hunter's friend. The new voice actor, Corey Cruz, did a really great job though, and he actually could please the fans with his interpretation of the dude's voice. Cruz and Hunter finally collaborated in the expansion for Postal 2, Paradise Lost, which is a far superior experience than Postal 3. Beside the dude, many NPCs inhabit Paradise as well. The NPCs react to everything that happens in the environment, including the player's actions. For example, screaming, throwing up, or taunting a corpse while kicking it. The normal citizens of Paradise also vary in pitch. It's very likely to stumble upon two characters that are voiced by the same voice actor, but one having a lower pitched voice than the other.
I feel better already.
It's a good way to bring variation into the voice work, without needing dozens of voiceover artists. When it comes to quality though, the line delivery can vary from rather good to kinda bad. But in my opinion, it does what it needs to do rather nicely anyway. The voice acting for the NPCs makes Postal 2 believable. Characters actually kinda feel real, even to the point of sometimes feeling a bit guilty for harming them. Nah, just kidding. Most of Paradise's citizens are assholes anyway. Many NPCs and the dudes say some quite politically incorrect and disgusting stuff too. And you gotta applaud Running with Scissors for their bravery when it comes to this. The terrorist NPCs in Postal 2 have the best lines on offer in my opinion.
I'll bet he was a gay. I blame the Jews.
Infidel, I crash a plane into your mother! Your mother is a goat whom my father services!
Let's not forget Gary Coleman here. He is one of the big guest appearances of Postal 2, and yeah, not too many things to say about him. He has some pretty funny lines, and oh, there's one interesting fact about Gary Coleman's role, the "what you talking about" line.
Would you please sign my petition?
What you talking about, asshole?
This line made Gary Coleman famous in his childhood career, but Gary didn't actually want to record the iconic line for Postal 2. On another interview on the Cyber Den, Mike, from Running with Scissors, revealed that Gary did not want to record this line due to his past, but he allowed Running with Scissors to record the line, "What are you talking about, asshole?" so they can manipulate it. The "What you talking about, asshole" line was constructed with different voice recordings that were mixed together using a recording of Gary saying "Don't you" and another with Gary saying "What?" The result is convincing, and Gary thought so too, because according to Mike, he called a year later and kinda went postal on him. In conclusion, the sound design of Postal 2 has quite a bit of variation in quality, especially when it comes to voice acting, but he ultimately was created with the game's theme in mind. The music is mostly cheery and funny. The voiceover work Rick Hunter did for the Postal series overall is outstanding, and the sound design overall, while a bit dated, is very competent at what it needs to accomplish. If you never played Postal 2, please do so as soon as possible. It's a great game, with a really good DLC on top of that. Running with Scissors really care about their fans, and I never saw so much support for a game that is this old. I mean, the support overall aside, I still would have liked to play the Pigeon Mission though.
What do you got, Steve? Hold on!
Proposal for the pigeon mission.
Proposal for the pigeon mission? We ain't got no budget for pigeon missions! The fuck, are you kidding me?
Vince, the kids. Gotta think of the kids.
Look at the quality of this video! You want enough! Hold on, I said!
Hey there, Chicken again. This is the post-end part of the video, it's unscripted. I recorded this like for the 10th time because I cannot get my shit straight. You don't need to watch this part of the video, the video already is done. You don't really have to watch it. I just want to say that this video kind of took longer for me to make for some reason, mostly due to procrastination and getting distracted with stuff. So I'm sorry about that. And I want to say a quick thank you to the people that have interest in my stuff. I really appreciate it. And I would also say a really warm thank you to Running with Scissors, the best developers ever. I really like their stuff. I love their games. And yeah, I bought the Postal XX pack. If you want to buy it, it's on the Running with Scissors store. I will give a link to that. And they have a special promotion for Valentine's Day. Yeah, I just love their stuff. And I really do urge you people, please check out Postal 2. Please check out Postal 1. Not the third one. Really great games, really nice developers. I would also say that you people should really check out the channel Jake the Voice. I got a lot of cool information from this channel about Postal 1, 2, Running with Scissors overall, and that's where I got the Gary Coleman story from. It's a really cool channel about, it's a really cool channel that focuses a lot on sound as well, sound in games. Mostly about music and voice acting, and there are many really cool interviews, so please check him out. Yeah, that would be it. Take care everyone, and until the next video.